Hey everyone, Budget Brewers here, and today we're breaking down a new $75 budget commander featuring the Pride of Hull Clade. It's an 11 cost Simic commander that you're almost never going to actually be paying 11 mana for because its cost is reduced by X, where X is the total toughness of all your creatures. This makes it so we can cast our big expensive commander for as little as 1 green mana. It's also a 2/15 with Defender, but don't think that's going to stop you from attacking because his ability makes it so you can pay 2 mana and 2 blue and give any creature you control +1/+0 and let them attack with Defender. The best part is that when that creature deals combat damage, you're also going to be drawing cards equal to their toughness.
This deck is going to be wanting to trigger that ability as much as it can to hit people with creatures with a lot of toughness so that we can draw a lot of cards. We're going to be wanting to take advantage of that card draw and making it so our creatures can do damage with their toughness instead of their power, killing our opponents with a massive board of walls.
The first thing we need to add to this deck is walls. Walls are generally cheap creatures with really high toughness, like Glacial Wall, and casting them can help reduce our commander's cost extremely quickly, allowing us to get our 11 mana commander out by turn 2 or 3 with the right walls. Additionally, these creatures don't actually have to be walls. Something like Aegis Turtle is amazing because for 1 mana, it effectively ramps 5 towards our commander's cost. It also doesn't have Defender, which can be useful later on. Some other notable walls are Overgrown Battlement, which taps for green mana equal to the number of creatures with Defender we have, or Axebane Guardian, which does the exact same thing but taps for any combination of colors.
Now that we have a bunch of walls and a ton of toughness in our deck, let's talk about how to take full advantage of our commander's ability. Ideally, we're going to use our commander's ability on itself because it's our biggest wall in the deck. The issue is that most opponents will happily block our commander in order to deny us the card draw. So let's get around them by making our commander unblockable with things like Aqua's Form. Additionally, something like Sword Coast Sailor makes our commander unblockable for any opponent with the most life and doesn't get put in the graveyard when their commander dies like an aura. Also, something like Canopy Cover is going to give our commander pseudo-flying while also giving him protection at the same time.
We figured out how to get our commander in to actually use his ability, but let's try to make that ability even better. 4 mana is a lot to pay for each activation, so let's reduce that cost. Training Ground is going to be perfect for this. It'll reduce that cost by 2 colorless mana, allowing us to just pay 2 blue mana for each activation. We're also going to want to run Biomancer's Familiar as a good backup for this card.
Let's finish this deck with some win conditions that will actually finish the game. The first being cards like Assault Formation that'll let our creatures deal damage with their toughness instead of their power, and lets them attack with Defender for just 1 green mana. Another great card for this job is Bedrock Tortoise, which gives all of our creatures hexproof on a turn. Another game finisher is going to be Ghalta Stampede Tyrant, which when it comes into play, lets us put all creatures from our hand onto the battlefield. We're going to be drawing more cards than we know what to do with, and Ghalta can help us cheat out a lot of creatures all at once and build up a massive board that can help us instantly win the game.
One of the greatest creatures we have to cheat out this way, which can also help us win the game, is Azuri, Claw of Progress. Azuri will get us an experience counter every time one of our walls or another low power creature enters the battlefield, and we'll turn all of those into 1/1 counters to put on our walls to make them even bigger later on. Alternatively, we can also start off with just 1 massive creature instead, like Towering Titan. This card ETBs with 1/1 counters equal to the total toughness of all the cards that we have on board, meaning that this creature will enter the battlefield as an absolute monster that we can also sacrifice our walls to give all of our creatures trample and can one-shot opponents.
Lastly, we want to be able to win through card draw. Psychosis Crawler is going to be a perfect card for this job, and it'll deal damage to each of our opponents whenever we draw a card. Another way to win is through Sphinx's Tutelage. While this isn't as reliable as Psychosis Crawler, if we are going against a monocolored deck, or we get really lucky against multicolored decks, we can mill them out extremely quick.
Thanks for watching our video on the Pride of Hull Clade. If you enjoyed the deck and want to play it yourself, we have a full deck list linked in the description below. If you have any other commanders that you want to see us build on a budget, then leave a comment telling us what we should do next.